As part of the first demo, we are looking at faster, easier, and more convenient reporting from healthcare softwares. And here we will look at processing more and more information using the PC and the server RAM. So what is the value proposition? We're looking to eliminate the cubes because the cubes consume additional memory and additional hardware. The joins between the large transaction tables, which consume a lot of memory, and understanding of various ERPs such as SAP, Tally, HIS, which are very complex source systems. In our whole solution offering, we'll be looking to reduce the data extraction times. So this here the ETL tool will also come, the business logic coding time, the maintenance time. The tool should be easy to use, easy to deploy, and easy to deliver. And then we will also look at reducing the length of the SQL code required to make the reports and the reporting data size, because the smaller this is, the more optimally the RAM can be used. And then we will also be looking at minimizing the data refresh times for the reports. This should in turn raise the ease of reporting, convenience of working with BI stack of tools. You should be able to handle large data loads, and the deployment. So in the product, it is a point and click deployment is what we emphasize. But here we are not actually, in this demo, we will not be looking at the extraction modules, which are point and click, and the number of concurrent end users for the report. So for this, we have created ready-made ETL processes, productize the reporting outputs and aggregates for faster analysis. So here what we have done is we have lowered the coding time, the faster data access, and easy to use desktop application. This is the cost is going to come down. Graphs, dashboards, and time series analysis is what is adding to the buyer value. So what are the core benefits? We are looking at speed of reporting in terms of use through data compression and code reduction. Then plug and play solution where possible, and easy to configure business logic in terms of SQL, right? This is in turn the benefit slide. So we take 100 pages of information and minimize the number of information down to 1 page. Lower number of pages means lower scanning required, and therefore in turn results in lower RAM utilization and faster data access, and lower cost of reduced cost of BI solutions. So as you can see, if a report is taking 10 minutes to refresh, only 1% can see the data. But if there are if it takes 10 seconds, then 60% can see the data, real-time information dissemination. If a report is taking 5 minutes for a reload, then 12 reports are reloaded every hour. If it's taking 1 minute for it, then 60 reports are reloaded every hour. And we will also minimize the ETL times. We follow the Inman methodology, wherein you get the required columns in staging area. Between the staging and the ODS, we call all the business logic. And then we minimize the joins in the data marts to make the reporting line. And the star schemas are primarily for minimizing the scanning cost from any group by or whereby clauses. So I'll come down to the healthcare demo. So this is for the client, wherein the SAP and HIS data was going to be consolidated. And in order to minimize the reload times, we actually use the ETL tool, the SSIS, and also to get the incremental data load. So client right now has got more than 700 reports, complex reports running. And we are looking at reduced report development times for report developers. The execution time has been reduced by more than 90%. And a lot of what if scenarios are also possible. So the same thing, we took the data, extracted the required columns in staging, then staging to ODS, we coded the business logic, and then we minimize the joins in the ODS layer, and then we made the fact tables. So this is how it is. It has been done. So again, we are seeing just in the case of SAP, we extracted the data required columns from SAP. Between the staging and ODS layer, we coded all the business logic, minimized the joins, and then we generated aggregates for faster reporting. The benefit is that, okay, fine, if you look at it, this such a big procedure, which was initially for the reports, has been compressed down to simply one line. Okay. So in a brief, I'll now give you the case study, which is there. So this is the ready-made module for healthcare by patient category, package, item, employee, vendor, sales, purchase, accounts, payables. So basically, we find out items with lower than average IP month for last fiscal month, look at seasonality, understand year-on-year trend, understand the usage patterns by doctor, patient category, and package, understand the purchase patterns by target share of business, supplier analytics, and then look into the high stock analysis. So for doing this, what I do here is I go straight to my Power BI module. Just one second, please. This is my Power BI module, and in the Power BI module, I go here. I click on this. My stock and the sales analysis. So these are my stock by generic strength in the top 5, top 10, top 15. And this is sales per year with a, you can see that, okay, fine, various items, you can actually also do it, right? Across year on year, then sales by month analysis, and then similarly sales percentage by generic strength and So this is the percentage of sales in the red, and this is the margin percentage. Where the blue column exceeds the red column, the item is very, very profitable. Then if I look at the share of business consumption, I have got actual versus target share of year of business. So this actually helps change the doctor behavior, where actual share of business is more than the approved share of business. The doctors have to reduce that consumption and change the package formulations. This is the average price analysis, the consumption by doctor and the package. And this gives the inventory aging, which is actually going down to, so it starts from age bracket down to store code and then down to the brand name. So this is a dashboard, which is a sample dashboard, which has been prepared with very, very low refresh times, reload times for faster, easier, and more convenient reporting. This has been done on the Azure cloud. Now I next come down to the second portion, is that wherein we have the ETL processes. So, why we are using the SSIS module. So as you can understand that the data is ever increasing, and there's a plug and play module required across large number of endpoints. So wherever there is C# .NET coding required, along with the database, which is SQL Server, then we try and prefer and use the ETL processes to automate the manual system. The other thing here is where we want to reduce the extraction and load time. So we want to handle errors better, and errors better, and also then have, load the data from the breakpoints, the checkpoints. So in SQL, you have SQL execution of processes. With ETL tool, you can have parallel execution of the processes. The process will stop when there's a failure. Here you can use the completion precedence to actually continue the task and store the error data separately. In SQL, you use a lot of temporary tables, but in this case, when we use the actual tables, I can do metadata validation also. And you can also redirect the rows in the failure. It all in all, it helps meet the client the SLA requirements, wherein is to what is to load the error-free data onto the data warehouse, right, and reduce the extraction times. This is how we convert the SQL procedures onto the data flow. And we normally use precedence constraints of completion in order to run the process, even if there is a failure. This is validate mixed external metadata. So in order to better capture errors, validate external metadata is set to false, but we set it to true, and therefore we use staging tables to capture the data. If we use temporary tables, the validate external metadata has to be set to false. Our error handling is also better, so we use multiple threading, and you can have checkpoints and the breakpoints at the container level. And then, within the data flow, you have various options of ignoring the error, redirecting the rows, or, or having a fail component that is also used. At the control flow, so if I need to restart the job from the required then we use transaction options, isolation levels, and the checkpoints and the breakpoints. The transaction option supported and transaction option required is that if a particular transaction has occurred, then only execute the other transaction that is required. But if a transaction has occurred, then second transaction can be executed from the same thread. But it is not required that the first transaction would have occurred. That is the supported. So this actually helps you decide up to what extent the transaction rollback would take place. And this is specifically useful if there are inventory balances, ledger balances required. Error handling is, we are looking at fail package and failure, fail parent and failure. So there are a number of options within within the SSIS to decide, how the failures are going to be handled. So that can be used also. In order to rerun the job from the failure point, we use the checkpoints, and these are the sort of the conditions. And in order to optimize the job, so we select only the selected column. Oh, sorry, this is isolation levels. Again, this is actually to do with the rerunning of the package. So, read uncommitted is basically dirty read. So dirty read basically can bring in junk data. Read committed handles updates. Read repeatable handles, inserts and updates. Serializable is the most optimized form. And snapshot we have actually never used. Running the job on the job in the optimized mode true means basically bring in only the required columns. And you can also set the log settings as to how the logs would be set up each level of granularity. Right. Execute variables we normally use when we have the SQL transforms to load the number of rows which have been loaded. So we go from SQL to SSIS to basically reduce the execution times through parallel execution checkpoints, redirecting error roads, and then optimizing the query execution. Then better error handling, which is there. Then if you need a very mass scale deployment, so you can use for each container and then the quick implementation, and then you can optimize the job run also and have very solid audit logs. So with this, and this actually gives where the SQL would be replaced by SSIS. So with this, I come down to my next portion of how a consolidation module was done for a large retail company. So that company had a manual data loading process through C# extractor, and we wanted to reduce the complexity of understanding of Navision and other source systems. So we wanted to reduce the data extraction times, the maintenance times, and the report development times, provide the best-in-class data audit facilities, and have an easy to use deployable solution. So the whole thing was, how do you lower the data load times, and how do you provide better data audit and data error log facilities? Same we had Navision, SAP, and this thing we got the required columns in staging area, then normalization, and then the star schemas. So if you look at the GST demo, this particular client had more than 150 locations, and each location was basically getting the required GST data through either 2-parameter or 3-parameter SQL Server procedures, and there were more than 150 such locations. So the whole emphasis was on reducing the time of load, reducing the type of errors, the validation issues, and full 156 locations should be handled. So, here we are looking at dynamic connections, optimizing the number of parameters. So first of all was delete the prior data. So onto the staging area, what we did was that any data which was available for the given location between the given dates, right, that had to be deleted. This was done using the SQL transform and a procedure. Then we loaded parallel load of the process. We have made multiple threads. These are the process tasks. And within the process task, then we had 2 parameters and 3 parameters based on the number of parameters in the procedure at the given location. And just one second. There was a incremental load to handle 147. So each thread ran independently across all the locations. Dynamic connections were set to contact the remote locations dynamically. The connection string was set, and the number of parameters at each location was calculated by using the SQL transform. And thereafter, based on whether it was a 2-parameter or a 3-parameter, the precedence constraint editor was set to run, right? And the data was extracted from multiple locations, and accordingly the staging area was updated. And in order to validate, we used the data flow. And for incremental data load, basically meant those locations which were not loaded. and we found out which are the locations whose data has not been loaded, and then it was loaded onto a flat file, and then the data was sent using an email task. This was one portion. So as of now, I've covered up the core philosophy of faster, easier, and more convenient reporting to data compression and SQL reduction. And now I'll come down to the final portion of the demo, which is actually to do with the advanced analytics, which is possible, uh, using the module. So this is actually for a company which wants to, which wants to increase its sales by using market basket analysis. So market basket analysis is basically I have a set of items and I can sell other items along with it in order to increase the sales. So what we did was first we found out which are our category A items based on item per head, which are actually selling the fastest. And then we were trying to look at whether category B and category C items can also be speedily, sold along with the A category items. So this was the case. We've also looked at possible date for stockouts, consumption quantities, trend, seasonality, and stockout possibilities. So this was a flow chart which we made we calculated the A category items, and then we looked at, for A category items, 99% availability should be there. So it was average plus 3 sigma, B average plus 2 sigma, C category average plus sigma. And then we did day by day, week by week analysis, weekend analysis, identify the stockouts, identify the trend of usage, right? And then we looked at which all of the other items can be sold along with A category items, and then looked at the confidence level by which we can say the sales will increase. So this is a snapshot in the Tableau. We looked at those particular days where there was a stock out, possible stock out, in terms of day-wise analysis, and where IPH was blank for a particular item. And we calculated the lost sale value also. And then we decided, okay, fine, that we can reduce the lost sale due to number of stockout instances. And then we started looking at which particular items can be sold together. So this is support, frequency, and confidence is what we looked at. The procedures were created in SQL, this thing. And market basket analysis was actually done using Tableau and Power BI, right? And then we can also use the advanced time series analysis of autocorrelation and partial autocorrelation function. We looked at the time trend analysis. So this is it. This is a reporting references. And thank you very much for your time.